Hello and welcome back to another video. Now today's Wednesday, so this is Waffle on a Wednesday where I answer your questions to the best of my ability. And for those of you that are new here, my name's Mel and I live full time in this Mercedes Sprinter camper van. And occasionally I like to go treasure hunting, and that brings us on to our very first question, which comes from Mick Percival. Hashtag Waffle on a Wednesday. Mel, thank you for your excellent and informative videos. Keep up the good work. Any more metal detecting coming up? Recommendations for a decent cheap detector for hobby use, and I do mean cheap. Well Mick, first of all I'd like to say thank you so much for your generous contribution of the £5 super thanks. I really do appreciate your support. And also thank you for the kind words about my videos. I'm thrilled to hear that you find them excellent and informative. Now, as for the question about affordable metal detectors for hobby use, I understand that finding a decent and budget-friendly option is important. One recommendation I can offer is the Minelab Xterra Pro. Now the Xterra Pro is very similar to my metal detector, which is a Minelab Equinox 800, although it doesn't have all the same features, but that makes it perfect for a beginner. It is a lot simpler to use than the Equinox 800 that I have. And one of the great things about the Xterra Pro is that it is actually fully waterproof down to about 5 meters. So if you do want to use it on the beach for beach metal detecting, which is my favourite place to detect, and you're pretty free to detect on any beach in the UK. There are some private beaches that are a bit dubious whether or not you're allowed to detect on them. But anyway, that aside, the Xterra Pro is a fantastic machine and it's less than £300. Now I know that does sound like a lot of money, but if you buy a really cheap metal detector, I think you're going to find you're not going to get discrimination, iron discrimination I'm talking about. So you'll be picking up everything, all the rubbish like nails and horseshoes and stuff you don't really want to find. So by having iron discrimination built into a metal detector, you're more likely to stick to the hobby because you'll be digging less trash. So there is a fine line between cheap metal detector and cheap but usable metal detector. Now there are plenty of metal detectors available for under £300, and another one I can recommend is the Nocta Simplex Plus. Although I've personally never tried one, I've seen a few video reviews and it does come pretty much head to head with the Minelab Xterra Pro. The only downside that I can see with the Nocta Simplex is that it isn't completely waterproof, unlike the Xterra Pro. And because I'm a big Minelab fan, the Xterra Pro is the one that I would recommend. I'm actually considering buying one myself, just as a backup and as a spare, just in case anything was to go wrong with my other two detectors. And also Rebecca has got a keen interest in metal detecting as well, so I think it would be a great idea if we had another metal detector on board the camper, so when we do go on our metal detecting and treasure hunting escapades, Rebecca can have a metal detector that she can use as well. And if you haven't seen the video I made of Rebecca metal detecting, I'd highly recommend it. It is quite entertaining. I'll put a link to that video up here, purely for your viewing pleasure. Now to answer the most important part of your question, will I be making any more metal detecting videos? Absolutely. I'm always working on new content and there will definitely be more metal detecting and treasure hunting videos coming up. And once again, thank you for your support and welcome to the metal detecting community. Happy hunting. Now as you can see, I've got a wood burner in my camper van, and just recently another camper van channel uploaded a video of them nearly setting fire to their camper due to the fact they didn't have an insulated flue fitted in their van. And this next comment is related to that, and this comes from Anthony Eels. Hi Mel, just been watching a video of a van lifer, but I got to ask how safe are log burners, as they was fitting one and there was smouldering and almost caught the van on fire. How safe are they, please Mel? And why would it do that? Well Anthony, a log burner can be a great addition to any camper van. If it's installed incorrectly, then yes, you will have problems. And one of the main keys to having a log burner in a camper van is the installation of that log burner. When I installed my log burner, I did a lot of research via YouTube and Google and the internet. There's tons of information telling you how to install a wood burner correctly. And I really did take my time before installing this wood burner in my camper van. Now the mistake I believe Coral made in her wood burner installation was not fitting an insulated flue. After all, this flue gets really hot. You can see the discoloration down here. It's gone like a nice goldy orange colour where it's got hot, And then as we get up here, you can see that this part of the flue is still as good as it was when I first bought it. There's no difference in coloration at all. It's nice and shiny and stainless steel. That's because this part of the flue is actually insulated. So when it goes through the roof of my camper, past the wood and past all that insulation, it doesn't actually get hot. In fact, when this wood burner is burning, I can actually rest my hand on here for a period of time before it gets too uncomfortable. Really does stay a lot cooler because this flue is designed for this wood burner. And by the way, this is a cubic mini wood stove, and this flue, like I say, is made by cubic mini wood stove for this burner. That's why it's 100% safe in my van, because it's fitted and installed in a correct manner. And terrifyingly enough, I've seen a lot of people install wood burners in their camper vans, and they really don't install them properly, and that is where the danger lies, especially if you don't insulate this part of the flue. And the other main concern about having a wood burner fitted into a van is the surrounding as well, because this does give off an incredible amount of heat. And as you can see, I've got these really thick floor tiles, and behind these floor tiles there's fire retardant plasterboard. So this installation is 100% safe. And of course, the other main concern of having a wood burner is adequate ventilation. It's very important to have your van well ventilated when you've got a wood burner. The way they work is the heat inside the burn chamber draws air into the wood burner, and that air and fumes and smoke and everything goes up the flue. So this wood burner needs ventilation to work properly. After all, it's drawing air in. And if you can't draw enough air in, then carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide is going to build up inside the van because it's not going to be able to combust properly. And with that in mind, it's also very important to have a carbon monoxide detector inside your van, especially if you've got a wood burner, or like I mentioned last week, any kind of gas burning appliance. Carbon monoxide will kill you, so it's very important to have a carbon monoxide detector. I've got one up here, and I've also got one just above my pillow over there, and I'm going to fit another one down on my floor level as well. I'm going to end up with 3 carbon monoxide detectors in my van. And that brings us on to our next comment. It really does hit home how important adequate ventilation is in your van. Now, this comment was actually left on last week's Waffle on a Wednesday when I spoke about using gas heaters in a van. I'm talking about those open flame gas heaters, like the Mr. Buddy for instance. And I quote, "I almost died using a gas heater in my van of what was most likely lack of oxygen or CO poisoning. I had just installed 5 ventilation openings, one of them 20 centimetres from where I sleep, and I was sure it would be enough to bring in fresh air, but I woke up in the middle of the night paralysed, unable to breathe, and I had to use enormous effort to make my lungs take in air. I was just laying there like that for I don't know how long, struggling for every breath, and then slowly I could move my arms and legs a little. After even more breathing like that, I managed to crawl out of my bed and get out of the cargo room of my converted van and try to open the driver's door. I barely managed to unlock and open the door and climbed into the driver's seat and spent the rest of the night there recovering and throwing up. I had a CO alarm, but it demanded 12 volts and my cargo room system is 24 volts, so I had not got it working. I now have a CO alarm that uses its own battery." Wow. Like I say, Rondo Cat, thank goodness you managed to survive the night, and thank you once again for sharing your harrowing story. And let's all take that as a reminder how dangerous carbon monoxide really is. Please do get a CO alarm fitted to your camper van. And I'd be interested to hear from anyone else that has shared a similar experience as Rondo Cat. If you have, then please share your experience by leaving a comment in the comment section below this video, and hopefully together we can raise awareness of this silent killer, maybe even save somebody else's life. Once again, thank you, Rondo Cat. Please stay safe out there. Remember, get a CO alarm fitted inside your camper van. Don't become one of those really sad statistics. Now here's an interesting question from Trevor Phillips, #Mel, how much time will it take you to make your YouTube vids? We may only see 5 minutes of video, but I bet it's an hour or two filming, editing and uploading. Must take a lot of time from you. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Trevor. That's very kind of you. And it is a question I do get asked quite often. How long does it take me to actually make these videos? I'll be completely honest with you. I actually film waffle on a Wednesday on a Monday. I know, right? And it takes me literally all day to film waffle on a Wednesday. And you're absolutely right, the editing process and the uploading process, adding all the little banners at the bottom, it really does take up a lot of time, and that's why I film Waffle on a Wednesday on a Monday. So thank you for watching Waffle on a Wednesday. I really do appreciate it. After all, there are a lot of YouTube channels out there, and especially van life channels. I mean, I went to a festival last year and it seemed every van at that festival had a YouTube logo on it, and that everyone was giving out stickers. So the competition is really tough, especially in this niche, and we are all competing for your views. And like I say, it is really competitive. I mean, most people watch YouTube whilst they're sitting on the toilet. I know I do. Now, if by chance you are sitting on the toilet and watching this video right now, then please do give this video a thumbs up so that we all know. And don't forget that toilet paper is really good, but water is even better. After all, nobody wants to walk around with a crusty arse. Now, talking about crusty arses, I think it's time for this week's Troll of the Week.
Troll of the Week.
So I'd like to say congratulations to Todd Cott, for you are this week's Troll of the Week. And Todd left a comment on a video that I made to try and help prevent catalytic converter theft. And I made this video after somebody tried stealing my catalytic converter on my camper van whilst I was asleep in my van. I actually woke up and caught them midway trying to cut through my exhaust pipe, so I made a video all about it. But anyway, Todd Cott left this comment on that video, and I quote, "Trade tools are used by criminals. Cordless angle grinders are a good example. Well done for showing every would-be cat theft how to do it, you silly boy." Well, hi Todd Cott, and thank you for sharing your perspective. I understand your concern, but I must clarify that the purpose of my video was not to teach or encourage criminal activity. It was created with the intention of raising awareness about the issues of catalytic converter theft and provide information to help vehicle owners protect themselves. However, if you have any suggestions on how to address this issue responsibly, I'm all ears. So let's try and work together, shall we, and combat these criminals rather than nitpicking and name calling. But saying that, you're still Troll of the Week. Congratulations, buddy. Now, whilst on the subject of criminal activity, Jordan Van left this comment, and he started his comment with hashtag Waffle on a Wednesday. And if you've got a question for me, just like Jord, then please do start that question with hashtag Waffle on a Wednesday. It just makes it a lot easier for me to find your questions amongst all the comments that are left on my videos. I thank you in advance. Hashtag Waffle on a Wednesday. Love your videos. Been watching them while starting my conversion. What would you say is the best security to keep people away? Well, George, thank you so much for your support and kind words. I'm thrilled to hear that you're enjoying my videos while working on your conversion. Now, when it comes to keeping your van secure, there are several effective measures that you can take. So here are a couple of my recommendations. First of all, quality locks. Invest in sturdy deadlocks and deadbolt locks for your doors, and consider reinforcing them with additional security plates. Now, believe it or not, there are ways of protecting your windows. You can get a security film that goes over your glass and makes it really difficult for them to break in. And there's always a secondary alarm system. Although modern vehicles like my Sprinter have got a built-in alarm system, it's always a good idea to fit an aftermarket alarm system as well. Just make sure it's a reliable alarm system that includes motion sensors, door sensors, and a loud siren. And along with your alarm, it's always a good idea to have a tracker fitted, like a GPS tracking system to help locate your van in case it ever did get stolen. And it just so happens I do have a GPS tracker installed in my van, and I made a video all about it. I'll put a link to that video up here purely for your viewing pleasure and your convenience. And of course, it's always good to park your van in a well-lit areas or invest in motion activated exterior lighting. Adequate lighting can discourage criminals from targeting your vehicle. And it just so happens that one of my subscribers left a comment on one of my previous van security videos saying that they recommended getting these motion detecting lights that are solar powered. They put those lights on their dashboard during the day to charge the batteries, and then at night they attach those lights to the side of their van using magnets. I thought that was a brilliant idea, and I must remember to try and do some research and find some of those lights so that I can actually try that out for myself. I might even make a video about it, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss that video. Now, with all that said and done, it is always a good idea to have a hidden compartment inside your van, somewhere hid away and locked, so you can lock your valuables away when you're away from your van. And that way, if any criminals do manage to bypass all your security and actually break into your van, it's going to make it a lot harder for them to find your actual valuables. This just adds an extra layer of protection. But remember, no security measure is foolproof. But by taking a combination of these precautions, it can greatly reduce the risk of theft. And if anyone else out there has got any suggestions concerning theft, or prevention of theft I should say, then please do leave a comment in the comment section of this video. I'll be really interested to hear and read what precautions you're taking to protect your valuables in your van. Good luck, George, with your van conversion. Just remember, keep it simple and keep it safe. Now, purely for your convenience, I will leave a link to the video that I made about fitting a tracker to my van up here for you. And if you're interested in the catalytic converter theft video that I made, I'll leave a link to that video here. And if you've got a question for me, then please do start that question with hashtag waffle on a Wednesday and leave that question down there. I do hope you enjoyed this week's waffle on a Wednesday. If you did, then please do give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next week. Ta-ra for now.